Welcome to our channel, and get ready for a penny story you won't forget. From common change to collector goldmines, some Lincoln Memorial cents carry secrets that could turn your pocket change into a prized possession. Stick around, because what looks like an ordinary penny might just be hiding something extraordinary. You know those coins we barely look at? The ones that end up at the bottom of your pocket, left behind in old jars, or forgotten in the creases of your car seat? Sometimes, one of them turns out to be something far more than what it seems. Today, we're kicking off with a coin that might look just like the others, but it holds a secret most people would never imagine. Let's talk about a 1985 1-cent piece. A Lincoln penny. Now, you've probably seen thousands like it. Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the front. The Lincoln Memorial standing tall on the back. That reddish copper tone. Just another penny, right? But here's where it gets interesting. To understand what makes this coin so special, let's rewind the clock. It's 1985. Ronald Reagan is president. The Cold War is still in full swing. Michael Jordan just entered the NBA. Cassette tapes rule the airwaves. And while all of that was happening, millions of pennies were being minted, in cities like Philadelphia and Denver, with the same design used for decades. These pennies were made from copper-plated zinc. Lighter than their predecessors. Less expensive to produce. And they were never meant to be precious. In fact, the 1985 penny was one of the most mass-produced coins of its time. It was made to be spent, lost, replaced, and forgotten. And that's exactly what happened to most of them. Over time, they wore down. They got scratched. Bent. Tarnished. The fine details faded. The luster vanished. Most ended up in circulation and lived hard lives, bouncing through pockets, coin jars, counters, vending machines. But once in a very rare while, one coin escapes that fate. One penny, struck with uncommon precision, handled with extreme care, and somehow spared from circulation entirely. Left untouched. Preserved in mint condition. No scratches. No dulling. No imperfections. When that happens, something magical is born. Imagine it, a penny from 1985 that still shines as if it was struck yesterday. Lincoln's hair detailed down to the tiniest strand. The lettering so sharp you could run your fingertip across it and feel every edge. The memorial on the back, each column visible, no soft spots, no flattening. The surface completely unbroken. Almost mirror-like. It's the kind of coin that makes a serious collector pause. See, in the world of coins, perfection is rare, and rarity drives desire. When you combine a common year with an exceptionally uncommon condition, something unexpected happens. You get a modern coin that suddenly becomes the center of attention, not because of an error, not because of a wild story, but because of how flawlessly it survived. And when collectors notice, the game changes. There are people who have spent years chasing the highest-graded versions of modern coins, people building sets, filling books, hunting for the absolute best examples of each year and mint. And when a coin like this surfaces, especially one with such striking beauty and virtually no known equals, it becomes more than just a coin. It becomes a trophy. Think about it, out of the millions produced that year, only one in perhaps tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, may survive in that kind of pristine condition. One that was never dropped, never touched, never tossed into a cash register or rubbed against other coins in a bag. That's what makes this 1985 cent different. It's not about rarity in numbers. It's about rarity in condition. It's about being the best, or one of the best, of its kind. And for collectors who know what to look for, that means something. It's not just about the coin itself, it's about the hunt, the history, the patience, and the eye to recognize something truly special when you see it. Maybe it was stored away in an untouched roll. Maybe it was part of a sealed mint package. Maybe it spent years in the hands of a careful collector who knew its worth before anyone else did. Whatever the case, when this coin finally changed hands, it made waves. Because what looked like a simple, ordinary penny, turned out to be anything but. Moments like that remind us why coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a discovery waiting to happen. A test of patience, detail, and timing. There's something thrilling about knowing value can be hidden in plain sight, right there in your palm. So if you've got old coins sitting around, maybe it's time to take a second look. And now, the reveal, that 1985 penny, just like the ones you might find in your old piggy bank, was ultimately valued at $68,000. So next time you see a penny on the ground, maybe pick it up. You never know what story it might be hiding. And that's just the beginning. We've got more coins to explore today, each with its own twist, its own secret, and its own surprising history. Let's keep going. The next coin in today's lineup might surprise you even more, not because of its age, but because of how recent it feels. It's a 1996 Lincoln cent, from the Denver Mint. The kind of coin most of us wouldn't give a second glance. If you're thinking, that's not even that old, you're right. This coin isn't from some faraway century. It was minted in the era of dial-up internet, floppy disks, and the early days of digital everything. Some of you watching right now probably had this exact coin in your hand and spent it without a second thought. But this particular penny? It followed a completely different path. Let's break it down. In 1996, the Lincoln cent still featured the same iconic design it had worn for decades, Abraham Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial standing proud on the back. The D mint mark just below the date told us it came from Denver. Millions of these pennies were struck that year, over 6 billion, to be exact. They poured out of machines, got shipped across the country, filled cash registers, and hit the streets almost immediately. And that's what makes this story so fascinating. Because out of more than 6 billion coins, one tiny piece of copper-plated zinc stood out from the rest. Not because of a misprint or a wild error, but because it was close to perfection. We're talking about a coin that somehow escaped all the scratches, dings, and dulling that most others faced within weeks of entering circulation. It avoided pockets, drawers, and dirty fingers. It stayed untouched, unmarked, and untouched by time. This wasn't just good condition. It wasn't even great. It was elite. Coins like this are sometimes described as red, meaning they still have that original bright copper tone. When a coin holds its original mint color, with no spotting, no toning, and no signs of wear, it becomes extremely desirable. And when that happens on a modern coin, especially one that was mass-produced, the rarity shoots up fast. Because here's the thing, common coins in uncommon condition become collectibles. The 1996 D penny doesn't have a shocking design or a historical backstory that makes headlines. But it tells a different kind of story, one of survival, of precision, and of the almost impossible odds of staying flawless in a world where coins are made to be used. Most coins from 1996 have lived hard lives. They've been through vending machines, soda fountains, parking meters, and dirty change counters. Their shine has long since faded. Their surfaces are scratched, dented, sometimes even corroded. But this one? It slipped through all of that. It's as if it was never meant to circulate at all. Like it was set aside the moment it was minted, carefully handled, carefully stored, and completely untouched by time or use. And it's not just about how it looks, it's also about how it was struck. Even the most beautifully preserved coin won't matter if the original strike is weak or uneven. But this one had it all, bold devices, strong rim, perfectly centered features. That's what makes this coin special. It's not about being the oldest or the rarest in mintage. It's about being the finest in existence. And for collectors, that matters. There are people building top-tier Lincoln cent sets, coin by coin, year by year, mint by mint, and they're looking for the very best specimen of each one. Not just a good example, the best. The kind of coin that, once you find it, becomes the centerpiece of your collection. When a coin reaches that level of condition, it's no longer just a cent, it's a showpiece. It's the one coin you show your friends, the one that gets its own display, the one that sparks conversation. It becomes something greater than its denomination, a tiny piece of perfection that turns heads and raises eyebrows. And when one of those coins surfaces, the kind you only see once in a lifetime, it commands attention. At first glance, it's just a penny from the 90s, modern, familiar, and easy to overlook. But when viewed under proper lighting, with the full coin in focus, its surfaces speak for themselves. A perfect strike, brilliant luster, no contact marks, no haze, no discoloration. Just flawless copper and sharp details from edge to edge. It takes a trained eye to see the difference, and the heart of a collector to chase it. Even more remarkable is how many collectors passed over this exact year without looking twice, until this one example reminded everyone just how valuable modern coins can become when preserved in pristine condition. In a hobby where age often gets the spotlight, this coin proved that quality can sometimes outweigh history. And so, while most people wouldn't think twice about a 1996 D penny, this particular coin became something else entirely, a standout, a treasure, and one of the finest known examples of its kind. And now, the reveal, that single Lincoln cent, struck in 1996 at the Denver Mint, reached a value of $56,000. From pocket change to prized possession, all because it was nearly perfect. So, before you toss that next handful of change into the tip jar or drop a penny in a parking meter, just remember, one coin, in the right condition, can change everything. Up next is a coin that reminds us of one simple truth: even machines make mistakes. But in the world of coin collecting, some mistakes are worth a fortune. Let's dive deep into the story of the 2060 Lincoln penny, a coin that, at first glance, looks like any ordinary penny you might find jingling in your pocket or stuck in a couch cushion. It's recent, familiar, and often overlooked. But beneath its unassuming exterior lies a secret, a rare and fascinating flaw that turned this everyday piece of change into an extraordinary collector's treasure. You see, the process of making coins is incredibly complex. Millions and millions of coins are produced every day by powerful presses, each designed to strike coins with precision and consistency. But like any mechanical process, errors can, and do, happen. Sometimes, the metal planchet isn't properly centered when it goes through the press. Sometimes, the die shifts or wears unevenly. Sometimes, the coin is struck more than once or struck with uneven pressure. And most times, these flawed coins are caught early on and never make it into circulation. But every now and then, one slips through the cracks. And when that happens, magic is made. The 2006 D penny we're focusing on is a perfect example. It was minted in Denver, marked by the familiar D under the date. The design. Classic Lincoln, a profile portrait on the obverse, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But the real story is in the details. Instead of being struck perfectly in the center, this coin was off-center, significantly so. The portrait of Lincoln is shifted, leaving part of the coin blank, while the other side's design is pushed close to the edge. This is what collectors call an off-center strike, one of the most sought-after types of mint errors. Off-center coins aren't just accidents, they're fascinating glimpses into the minting process itself. They reveal moments when something went wrong, when the coin wasn't perfectly aligned, but still received a full strike. The result? A coin that looks like it's been warped by some mysterious force. And that's what makes these coins incredibly appealing. They're imperfect by design, unique and unlike any other coin from the same year. What's even more amazing about this particular 2006 D penny is how well preserved it is despite the error. Often, error coins like this can be damaged or obscured by wear, making them less desirable. But this one is sharp, detailed, and clean, a true collector's gem. Now, you might wonder, with millions of coins produced each year, why aren't off-center pennies more common? The answer lies in quality control. The U.S. Mint employs strict measures to catch most mistakes before they leave the facility. Coins that are off-center beyond a certain point are usually removed. That's why surviving examples like this one are so special, they represent rare moments when an error escaped detection. And because of their rarity, collectors place a premium on these coins, often paying more for quality and eye appeal than for the coin's face value. Another reason this coin is remarkable is its timing. In 2006, coin collecting was enjoying renewed popularity, with collectors paying close attention to modern coins and their varieties. This helped fuel demand for unique finds like this penny. But here's the real kicker: this coin wasn't discovered in some hidden collection or dusty attic. It was found in circulation, in someone's change. Imagine paying for your groceries, reaching into your pocket, and pulling out a penny that looks slightly off. Most people wouldn't notice. But the person who found this coin did. They took a closer look, realized its uniqueness, and made the choice to keep it instead of spending it. That moment of curiosity turned out to be incredibly rewarding. Collectors love stories like this: coins that almost became forgotten, coins that quietly defy the odds, coins that whisper tales of chance and fortune. And this coin, with its bold off-center strike and crisp details, quickly became one of the most talked about modern penny errors. Its value? Well, it's nothing short of astonishing. After being examined and certified by experts, this error penny was valued at an incredible $42,000. To put that in perspective, that's $42,000 for a coin that started life as a simple 1-cent piece, less than the cost of a single cup of coffee back then. It's a reminder that in the world of coins, rarity and condition can create value far beyond the face amount. And sometimes, it's the errors, the unexpected twists, that shine the brightest. So next time you reach for your change, take a moment. Look beyond the date and the familiar face. See if there's something unusual hiding in plain sight. Because your next treasure might be right in the palm of your hand. Coins like this teach us that history isn't just about great events, but sometimes about tiny moments of chance. A slight shift, a misalignment, and suddenly, ordinary becomes extraordinary. Every coin has a story to tell, but only a few reveal a secret so valuable that it changes everything. And just like this 2006 penny, it could be worth more than you ever imagined. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and each find reminds us why so many are drawn to this fascinating hobby. Ready for more? The story doesn't end here. The world of coins is full of surprises, and we're just getting started. Moving on to our final find of today's video, a penny that's surprisingly modern, suspiciously ordinary, and yet possibly more valuable than anyone expects. The 2018 Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking: 2018. That's not rare. I've seen 100 of those just this week. And you're absolutely right. This coin is everywhere. It's the kind of penny you might not even glance at twice. It's new, shiny, common, and in most cases, probably worth exactly 1 cent. But here's where things get interesting. Because even in the most recent years, even with modern minting technology and strict quality control, mistakes still happen. Variations still occur. And hidden among the billions of normal coins are a few that stand out, if you know what to look for. The 2018 penny was minted in Denver, and it features the Union Shield reverse that's been used since 2010. It's part of the current generation of Lincoln cents, sleek, modern, and widely circulated. But not all of them are identical. Some 2018 pennies have been discovered with subtle, unusual traits. Slight doubling in the lettering. Raised die chips around the date. Tiny breaks in the design. Even minor rotation errors when you flip the coin. To the casual eye, they look like small flaws. To collectors, they're potential goldmines, tiny signs that a coin may be far more desirable than its face value suggests. But here's the thing: it's not always about errors. Sometimes, it's about perfection. The right coin in the right condition, absolutely flawless, with no scratches, no smudges, and that perfect mint state shine, can be worth far more than the average version. That's why condition is so important in coin collecting. Two identical coins can differ dramatically in value just based on how they've been handled, or if they've been handled at all. Think about this: most coins enter circulation immediately. They're tossed into tills, passed through pockets, dropped on floors, and scraped against other change. That instant contact begins to degrade the coin's surface. But every once in a while, a coin makes it out untouched. Maybe it was pulled from a mint roll early. Maybe it was saved before it had a chance to circulate. Maybe someone just noticed it was unusually perfect, and held on to it. Those are the coins that, years later, grab the attention of grading experts and collectors alike. And for a coin as recent as the 2018 D, finding one in mint state condition is still possible, but it requires a sharp eye and a bit of luck. Now, you might ask, why would anyone care about a penny this new? And the answer is simple: because rarity and condition don't always depend on age. It's about how many coins with those specific traits, whether era or condition, still exist today, and how many were ever noticed at all. And the truth is, most people don't look closely. They see the date, recognize it's recent, and move on. They drop it in a coin jar. Use it at the checkout counter. Or worse, toss it aside, thinking it has no value. But the collectors? They know better. They flip it over. Examine the edges. Check for die cracks, doubling, or unusual wear. They compare the design to a known reference, looking for subtle clues. Because they understand that even a coin minted just a few years ago could hold incredible potential, if it has the right characteristics. And that's what makes the 2018 D Lincoln penny so intriguing. Not because it's old, or rare by mintage numbers. But because there's more than meets the eye. A hidden detail here, a flawless surface there, and suddenly, what looked like just another penny becomes something worth holding on to. And remember, these aren't coins that collectors are pulling from dealer showcases or auction lots. These are coins found in everyday change. On countertops. In tip jars. Inside vending machines. Coins that most people never notice, and never give a second thought. So the next time you see a 2018 D penny, pause for a moment. Look at the date. Check the details. Is it unusually shiny? Does the design look just a little off? Is there anything that makes it feel different? Because the truth is, these modern coins are still being discovered. And many collectors believe there are more out there, waiting to be found by someone with the patience to look. Coin collecting isn't just about hunting for antiques. It's about staying curious. And that curiosity often starts with the smallest, simplest coin in your pocket. So don't be too quick to spend that shiny penny. Don't assume new means worthless. Don't overlook the details, because that 2018 D penny you're about to hand over for gum or coffee, it might just be something special. If you enjoyed today's video, learned something new, or just love discovering hidden value in everyday things, we'd love to have you join us. Hit that like button, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a modern coin that surprised you? And most importantly, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our next discovery. Because who knows, your next coin find might not come from a rare collection or a dusty attic. It could come from your wallet, your change jar, or the next time you break $1.